One in each bucket, right?
It doesn't taste weird.
One there.
It tastes fine. Yeah. It tastes something like something for sure, but I can't remember. Bitter and chalky. But it's not weird at all.
I just taste like how you have your regular milk, but then you have I don't know, it's like matcha versus like roasted matcha. It's just that little bit of change.
Yeah, okay.
There's like a slight roasty taste, but other than that, it's just the same as any other batter.
You're making ole ole? Yes. Are you excited?
I come from a family with diabetes, so we've always avoided things with too much coconut or too much sweet. So I like onde onde, but I very rarely eat it, and I've never cooked it. So
This is your time to shine.
and
eat as much as you want.
So I work in the field of sustainability, and I work with building cross-sector collaborations around sustainability.
So I work primarily in healthcare. A lot of it is about spiritual and emotional support for patients and their loved ones. One of my other interests is about community building through interfaith dialogue.
What does future of nutrition look like in a growing Southeast Asia? And there are two elements of it. One around smallholder justice, and the fact that if we move to a different protein system, then there are millions and millions of smallholders whose livelihoods will change, and wondering what is a just transition to that. The second thing that I'm quite interested in is having localized foods, and wanting a protein future where we're not all drinking soy shakes, but having a closeness to our foods and really having a culinary heritage which is quite strong in Southeast Asia.
How was this project for you, especially Madhu, because you came to our first online event where we really brought together a lot of people from different sectors. What was the experience for you from then that conversation until now?
It was really interesting to see everyone in community look at protein together. One of the things that I remember from that particular session was people's aversion towards insect proteins, and thinking about it as whereas we're in a region where there is a lot of tradition of eating insects, particularly coconut farmers who see larvae in their trees and having that as part of their nutrition. So I thought actually that's quite interesting that we're coming from a place of this is more of a curiosity, and it's a bit of an aversion and we're getting over it. So to go from there to trying it in our food, that's really exciting. And at the same time also see actually other more creative ways, other creative ways in which we can go. I think this is a good first step now.
You know how some parents buy ikan bilis powder to supplement their children's porridge? I would think of it like that. So I might not deliberately go and say, how do I adulterate a cake recipe? Because there's a bit more food chemistry in it than I'm willing to deal with. But it's sort of like, I'm making cabbage rice in my rice cooker. I'll just put in a tablespoon of it and stir it through and use it as a supplement.
My work is a lot in the systemic mapping space, so I tend to work with fewer people who are experimenting with these things, so more established actors or more commercial actors rather than community actors in the space. So it's very nice to see people who are touching it and interacting with it and pushing the boundaries of how it can use whether it's cricket flour. And also one of the things that both Yuvan and Aaron were talking about is that there is not much of an acceptance, consumer acceptance is not quite there. So I think to work with the community to that is quite difficult. So I don't know about individual connections, but just be able to see the sort of arts and sustainability space quite a nice and quite profound for me to see that actually you need any form of system change needs to happen at all levels, and this is one critical element. So I think that's really nice.
Hi, I'm Felix, and I've been a vegetarian or have not eaten meat for a long time, so I thought insects would be a good way to kind of get some exposure to alternative protein and to learn how to cook with that. In my day-to-day, I work as a designer at an agricultural innovation incubator.
This is not my first time eating insect. I had some experience in, I think, Cambodia, like eating the deep fried one. But this is the first time for me to cook with insect.
But I think this has changed my perception of insects a bit from kind of being a novelty thing, and it's like a quirky thing on like a night market somewhere, to being able to cook with it yourself and kind of seeing it as a more normalized ingredient. So that has changed.
I would say it's very interesting to meet like the two other gentlemen here and also other people in this event. I mean, for like newcomer to Singapore, I think this is like quite an opportunity for me to reach out to different people, to get to know people from different fields, especially from the sustainability one.
I do love to try out such events wherein you meet people, new people from various backgrounds, and you get a chance to collaborate with them. And I have been associated with Slice Cafe for a while now. We've been trying to set up our own startup as well, and one of the products which we want to bring to market is this edible cup. This is made up of wheat and jaggery. So it's completely edible and 100% biodegradable, and if you don't want to eat it, you can just throw it into the compost pit or give it to cattle or give it to insects, and yeah, it's like a nutritious food for them.
Put spinach and cheese and all these other things which are high in protein together with the crickets, but it was a complete coincidence. But who knows, it might actually be very healthy.
It is like as I'd expected, like the taste like spinach cheese biscuits.
I've eaten insects in the past. I've had them in brownies. I've had them like seasoned in a potato chip packet. I've had them like raw. That was like bamboo worms.
I think for myself, it was a very new experience, and like it being broken down into like a powder makes it a lot easier to cook with and also eat. I did have like a larvae, which is like a whole larvae, but I think if I didn't already try this while cooking, like I wouldn't have actually eaten the larvae. So yeah, I feel like this experience has like opened my eyes to like experiencing it, which it's a bit different from what I thought it would be like a lot better.
Hi everyone, my name is JJ and this is Bernice. Later she'll introduce herself. So I'm from Collab3, in short for Collab, and we are a science tech platform that help food tech companies with their lab testing. So the reason why I joined this event is because I was asked by her. So maybe you can introduce.
I saw this event is because there's one post from Slice. So they share this event in Instagram, and then I find it quite interesting, so I go and sign up. And because we don't really have the chance to really try the insect protein, right? Even though we always heard about how amazing it is, but this is actually a good chance for us to try.
So this is the first time we actually tried like integrating cricket powder into our food. Really interesting because like personally like there's these nuances like whereby insects are viewed as like not very pleasant, to the palate, right? So I feel like today is something that I actually like overcome, and I realized actually it tastes pretty good in my opinion, because I've tried like crickets from Thailand, right? Like they just raw insect. Okay, maybe they fry it, yeah, not raw, but you can see the whole body and stuff. So I would say like comparing this to that, there's a vast difference.
We modified the ratio of the cricket powders and the rice flour, which is the base. So this is actually 100% rice flour without any cricket flour, and then this is actually 10%, and then this is actually 20% of the cricket flour to replace the rice flour. So the main idea is here is actually to find out how's the ratio affect the crispiness and also the taste.
Yeah, so actually it's our first time making goreng pisang, and we did learn a lot along the way. Just like how high the temperature should be, how long should it be inside, and how does the powder actually affects the consistency of the batter, like how viscous is it, etc. I've tasted the 20%, right? So it honestly it tastes the same. Aesthetically, it may look a bit darker, but the taste is rather similar. I think one thing different about incorporating cricket powder into our batter, right, is that the batter, it's actually harder for the batter to stick to the banana. So it doesn't taste as a whole. It feels like you're eating two different things.
Yeah, you can actually see that the coating is not really stick to the banana itself. Yeah. One possible reason is probably because of the binding agent that present in the cricket powder is not that high as compared to the rice flour. Yeah.
Insect is really sustainable. If you look at the feed conversion ratio like of cows, I think it's like 18:1, and compared to like insects, it's like 3:1. So basically, it means that feed conversion ratio is like I'm gonna get a bit technical, but basically is how much food you give the organism or the animal compared to the amount of food that the organism produce for us to consume, right? So basically, it's like 6 times more efficient than your typical like cows, pigs as well, fish. So the thing is like I think insects is the future. Definitely, there are more sustainable ways to produce food in the future as well with the help of science and innovation. And yeah, that's why I started Collaboratory also.
This is actually a cool experience to try out the insect protein, even though it's not so comfortable at the start, but the more you try it, it's actually a lot more interesting. And because all this kind of alternative protein, right, we need a lot consumer acceptance to drive the growth. And also, I think the demand comes with the supply, actually like both way. So I think that it's good to have a lot more this kind of events. I think this is a really fun experience because all the participants here are quite into this space, and they're actually very, very into the exploration of the alternative proteins. And I hope that we can actually have a lot more events, physical events like this, like cooking, and then have some fun with all of us. Yeah.
Right. Personally, when I look at the advertisement, right, like I was just thinking, oh, maybe it's just another cook-off, right? But I think this was something very different because the profile of the people here, and the connection that I made is very valuable. So there are a lot of like entrepreneurs or maybe people who are entrepreneurial who actually like started their own business and having their own innovation, requiring like even simple things like soy and like it's all really interconnected, I feel. So this is really a platform for me to mingle in, and there's a lot for everyone to gain. So definitely more for this.
Thank you.